Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one is going to be what I'm going to call my definitive video on hype, right? Since it's been around for a while, I'm going to talk to you guys about best practices, why it's important, what you need to do to get the most hype. I'm going to show you my strategy between both my free-to-play account and my paid account, and kind of tell you guys how I would go about using my hype currency and all of that stuff. So very important if you don't feel like you understand hype well, or maybe you don't have too much of a plan with hype. You absolutely should have a very, very specific plan with your hype. First off, let me explain why it's important. When you look at hype, there's these stats, and you can drill into it and it'll tell you what it does. Awareness makes you go first. If people are hype 3, the awareness is the same except for class advantage. So hype does make class advantage a much bigger deal. That part is actually really cool. I don't care if you disagree with me on that. You're wrong. Just kidding. You can't have a wrong opinion. But I think that's cool because class advantage actually does matter. So all things equal, class advantage goes first. Otherwise, higher hype goes first. Um, Aggression is how much damage you do. So at an even rating, so here you can see estimate 10% increased damage per 50% rating above opponent's toughness value. So at an even rating, it's a wash. You do the same damage as always. As you get more and more overhype, which is more hype than your opponent, this really becomes a big deal. And also it makes your class advantage damage even more. Again, I like this. I think that is a good thing. Toughness just keeps pace with aggression, and it lowers the damage received. So again, overhype, you're going to take way less damage, right? An opponent is just going to won't be able to do as much damage to you. And then also they can't kick out as easy because they're not doing as much gem damage, right, on their swipes. It's kind of doubly useful there. Overhype is a massive deal, in particular at hype 4, versus just about anything lower. It's a really big deal. Hype 4, it all seems to really, really stack up. Now, the kickout one is important to know. This is in effect all the time. Kickouts are always boosted, no matter if you're overhyped or lower hyped. So hype 3, hype 4 can kick out much, much easier, regardless. You have to get them even lower to drain them, and that kind of stuff, right? So this is kind of your base understanding of hype and why it matters. The big reason it matters is it's hard to do damage against someone with more hype than you, and you can't go first. Pretty self-explanatory, right? So obviously you want to do more damage. You want to win, and going first generally is the best way to achieve this. So that's why hype is important. From there, let's go to your daily options to earn hype. And this needs to be done every day. It's the single most important thing you can do daily. You can't really afford to skip it. So the first one is going to be the speed tour. Very easy to do, and you pick up, I think it's like 800 and set like 2,500 hype on normal days, and then the bonus days it's 2.5 times that, and then you get wild card on hell mode. We'll talk about wild card in a minute, because wild card's super important. So you got to do this every day. The other thing you need to do every day, and a ton of people don't, I still have to do mine yet today, but I got 3 hours, is everybody, because every faction, I mean, like my free to play can unlock a tier 3 on its own. So the two things you need to do every day is fight tier 4 and tier 3. And if your faction has it unlocked, tier 5, 1 energy on each of them. If your faction doesn't have it unlocked, though, so which everybody in the game should be doing tier 4 and tier 3 each day. And here's why. The damage rewards on tier 4. You want to get to where you can do 1.35 billion, then you get 3,000. If not, even 270 million gives you 2,000 hype currency. You literally must do this every day. And the reason tier 5 is a big deal is it gives you 5,000 if you can hit the max chest there, right? So you got to do that every day. And then tier 3, you only need to do 20 million to get 1500. So even if you do the max chest on tier 4 and tier 3 each day, that's another 4,500 hype daily. The hype currency, which is massive. So those things need to be done absolutely daily without exception. Um, and the tier 2s doesn't matter. Literally, the rewards are worthless. You get 7,500 Titan takeover currency. Not even worth the energy. Don't do it. Tier 1, also even worse. At least at the time I'm recording this, Scopely could change this later because they are completely worthless. 5,000 Titan takeover currency, not worth your energy, right? So you can see our faction, we've had 10 people KO level 1, that's 10 people wasting an energy, and 5 people KOing a 2, that's another 5 people wasting energy. Tier 3, 41 people KO'd. That's my point, that you can clear this yourself. That's fine because you do 1 attack here, and then your other 2 energy should go into trying to get this boss down, right? Because once you get it down, it unlocks tier 5 for more hype. So that's why it's so important. Also, if for some reason you don't know how to get there, go to career, and it's in the career mode. And then you hit go. If it shows you have 0 energy, hit go and it'll fill up. It's once a day, it's every 24 hours. Now, I found out some people didn't know this. All of these top 2 rows, you can see this orangish, purplish, pinkish, whatever border. This is hype currency, and you can buy this hype currency for people. These are shards with the purple border or posters. What you want, the shards, don't buy the shards. They're a waste. Don't do it. You need to be buying the hype, but only for characters that are going to be good on your roster. So like Mercy's a great choice. Also, wildcard hype shows up in here. I wish I had 4K more currency. I try to leave 90 on hand. Showboat is the one I want the most on free to play. It is not the best usage or ratio. You can see we get 5 hype for 90,000, but I can put it into anyone. We'll again talk more about this in a minute. Versus 5 to 30,000, and then lower characters on Scopely's lower tier list, you get 10 for 20,000. So really good return on your hype investment for your Titan takeover coins, right? So I think hopefully I've done a good job explaining why to get hype, why you should get hype, why you need to do this every day, and also some of the other extra avenues to get it. So moving on from here, let's talk about hype strategy, right? You can sort your roster by hype level or hype points, right? So Pig Boy is somebody that shards show up a lot for, hype shards. So you can get his. I think Gunther shards show up in there. OTC shards will show up in there. Depending, it also depends on your league, of course. Devon Dudley shows up in there. Mercy and Julius show up in there. Mercy and Julius, 2 of the best ones to grab at tech because they show up all the time. Right? So there's a lot of stuff that shows up in the Titan Takeover store, so you need to check it daily as well. Right? And I think this is where people maybe get confused. So one thing to notice, right? You can see I have oh, this is a bad example because I don't have any wild card because I used it on OTC. Let's go Trickster. I should have some. All right, you see how this is shining with the arrow up? It means I can take his hype level up, but also see how it says 15 of 30? A lot of people make the mistake of going, oh, I can hype him, so hit hype up. But this number here, you see this on the side where it's 15? That means you're using your wild card hype. The Trickster, the emblem with the microphone being purple, that's Trickster wildcard hype. You can use it on anyone. You have to be super careful because it doesn't ask you. It doesn't make it very clear that you're using your wildcard. I know a ton of people have done it on accident, right? So just be very aware that you can waste your wildcard hype, and you definitely don't want to. The wildcard hype is in the first slot too, which doesn't really make sense to me, and it's color based, right? Like purple, and you're thinking, oh, okay, this is just Braun. We're going to use his regular hype stuff. No, his is the 15. So we have to be very careful about that. because wildcard hype is essentially your ticket to a very strong roster, right? So this is my free to play. I've only been playing 6 months. I don't spend at all. I don't have a huge massive roster yet. You can see I own 308 superstars and I have a 3 million roster. Very low, actually super low. And if we look at rarity, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 golds on my entire roster is all. Incredibly tiny roster, right? Let me show you what I can run for feud now into hype on the free to play without ever spending. I can run 3 hype 3s, and it's actually fairly close to 2 hype 4s and a hype 3. This is the lineup I will run on my free to play. Right? Just let that kind of sink in for a minute and think about what a focus spender could do. Okay? So now let's talk kind of wildcard strategy, and I'm going to flip between the two accounts and talk to you about the strategy I have for both accounts, and hopefully that will help you guys. So in my opinion, this is all just my opinion, this is my approach. You can like it or not like it, agree or disagree, that's okay, right? It's your roster, it's your account. There's no wrong answer here. But how I approach it and what I think makes the most sense is you want your people that are going to absolutely be your murderers, your best fighters by far to get the wild card hype. But it goes a little bit deeper than just that. So for example, right? I pulled hype 3 on these guys, you know. None of them are worth taking up. Potentially he could be, but he has a bad gameplay loop, right? Not really bad, but a cascade risk, so I wouldn't say bad. So it just doesn't really make sense to invest any more hype in them just to get a hype 4 character. That is, in my opinion, silly and short-sighted. You want to focus your hype wildcard very, very narrowly on people that are game-changing. So what do I look for? Number one is, can I run them on the account to their potential, right? So like Roman, I got lucky and pulled him, yes. He's not the best striker in the game, though. Just FYI. There are other strikers I would rather have, but I'm ecstatic to have him. And I can run him okay-ish, right? This is by no means is his best setup, right? But I can run him like this, and I have 100% strap, and I have Fury 3s. And this can hit for about 60 to 80 million without overhype, right? Maybe 90, somewhere in there. So sorry. I had to respond to a message. So anyway, the long story short, I can use him effectively. I can smoke people, and on the free to play, he's by far my best striker option. Not even close. Likely to be my best for a very, very long time, and he's already gold, right? All that stuff made it so I used all of my striker wildcard hype to take him to 3. And that's an easy choice because he's a strong fighter, low charge, he's good in feud, he's okay, he's fine in showdown, nothing special in showdown though, and he's fine in Titan, right? These are things that help me out everywhere. And yeah, it works really well. So like now Boss Man, I pulled the hype naturally, right? And he's been very strong for me, but I have a way better option. That better option is Smash, because I also have Smash's Repo Man gear. I have the stuff to run Smash very effectively. I have Mellow and I have Santa. I have this plate, which is all I need for Smash, and he's got a built-in 4 MP reduction, which on the free-to-play is massive. I will likely, maybe never, or for a very long time, get a better powerhouse than Smash. And I do now, after today, have enough wildcard hype to take him to 3. So guess what's happening? Smash is getting the wildcard hype to go to 3. And no regrets whatsoever. Easy choice. It's going to take this also, the moveset I run on him doesn't need gold to hit hard. So that's another benefit while I'm waiting to get his currency, right? So Smash is a very easy choice, works well in Showdown. If I ever get Axe, has an amazing Showdown link with him. So long term, it's the play, and I will just use my wildcard hype on him. Now, when you have a free-to-play roster and you don't have a lot of really good stuff, you need to make choices, and we get way more currently in the game, and for years, we get way more male events than lady events. So you don't need them. Um, you don't need them with. I'm sorry, I just forgot what I was saying. I need to stop answering a message because it's distracting me too much, and it's making this video worse. Anyway, yeah. So that's why Smash is worth the wildcard hype. That's why Roman is. Penta, I was really lucky. I pulled all of this hype naturally, so I haven't had to use wildcard on him. But guess what? The second I get 50 more wildcard hype, it's going into Zombie Penta. Zombies are also special, so you can only get hype 2 months out of the year. So the wildcard hype is really not wasted because I'll never pull wildcard hype for them except during the zombie months, right? And on top of that, Penta's kit is extremely valuable. He's the zombies and what they bring to the table are amazing. So Showdown is where hype is probably the most difficult to combat, to be honest. Showdown is also the event currently we get the most, and it's also the event that you can get the most rewards with the least amount of time. And I personally think it is the best event to focus to grow an account. I think my free to play is kind of showing that, right? The 6 months in with a tiny roster. I'm starting to get the S plus tier, the chase each month, right? We'll see if I get it this month, but I got it last month with Penta. So when you look further at him, you see, okay, he's got a hot tag. This is amazing, amazing, amazing in Showdown. It's very, very good in Titan as well. What else does Penta have? He has moments available to him to grow later if I get it with health, right? Besides that, I can load him with this move set with 3 MP. I can run a multiply set. I can run a reinforce set. He's very, very versatile. On top of that, the links are ridiculous. You can either have your opponents start with 2 less MP, or you can start with 5 more MP. And the zombies have both male and female links, so it's incredible for Showdown, right? So that makes Penta a no-brainer. I also got Z Black, fuse up to gold, and I actually can run him pretty effectively. And he has the link for -2 MP in Showdown, which is actually really big. He's not a modern zombie, so he doesn't have the plus MP, but he does have the drain, which is super useful in Showdown. So I can have a built-in -2 MP in Showdown, and I got 2 hype for him naturally and some change, and I used the wild card to take it to 3, and I will use wild card to take him 4 to partner up with Zombie Penta, right? So that's how the free to play is approaching it from the male side, right? And what I'm looking at there. Now, on the flip side, yeah, as far as acro goes, I'm still I'm gonna change from Cena, who was my boy, but I haven't invested wildcard hype in. And you see I could take him hype 3 right now, but I'm not going to, because the one of the and I will make a case that this is possibly the best card you could invest hype in because of this move set. In particular, if you have, so all you really need is you need the nearing end skill plate, right? and then he hits plenty hard at gold. Nearing end skill plate will get it done for you. But he has moments. If you have the moments, he's got 2 gears. If you can get them both, one is MP. But he starts with a stun, and if you stun them, you can't be reversed by anything that comes after, right? This is who I'm sinking all of my acro wildcard hype into on both accounts, actually. Because of what he brings to the table. He's also incredible in Titan. He also is another guy with a hot tag, and he has a decent showdown link too in the Mexico link with 2 more MP, right? So that's where I'm going acro. Now, once I have zombie penta to 4, we'll switch over to the women. I have Becky is so good. I was lucky enough to pull her gear from the gear loot, and honestly, I don't have a ton of the stuff to run her. I'm looking for the purple plate, the Bubba's glasses. Bubba's glasses, yeah. That increase purple gem damage. But these 2 moves right here, and this setup just crushes everything for me at ladies, right? So I really would like to get her hype 3 and 4 specifically. And I can run her this way on the free to play, and it works. It wins. It's really, really good. And we can improve it. You know what I mean? So hopefully I could pull some hype for her. But after we get Penta to 4, then Becky will be the focus on showboats for ladies. After that, after OTC is 4, then I will go to Zombie Bailey. Why? Because the zombie link, and she is really, really good on my free-to-play account. I can run her and I can win turn 1. So that's kind of like how I'm approaching it, like early. After Smash, I'd probably dump some into Chelsea potentially. Nah, I wouldn't. I'm gonna be realistic here. I wouldn't. And so basically, I'll hoard my wild card after I get some 4s in each one. Lady, I'll probably go Lyra or Tiffany. I don't know yet. I have plenty of time to decide because that's a ways away. But there's so many less events that I'm just focusing on it less right now. So that's how the free to play is approaching hype, and why I'm doing it, right? Like what's the biggest bang for my buck? What makes my life easier? And I mean, like, yeah, technically I can run this now if I wanted to run bigger, which I don't, but I could also just put Smash here just as well. That's 116k roster with 4 level hype 3 people on a free to play, because I focus my wildcard hype, right? And very close, few days away, like a week or 2 away at most from a hype 4 in Penta. So yeah, that's how I approach it on the free to play. So hopefully that gives you some ideas there. Now let's flip over to Mherex. Window capture. This is a paid account, right? You look at, let's start with my men. Cena, maxed. I have 13 tech wildcard hype. Why is that? I spent about 160 wildcard hype to get Cena to hype 4. Why did I decide to do that? He's got a 1 MP move that loads everything. Never need an MP trainer. That makes my life easy. It also has a built-in heal, right? Super makes my life easy. Okay, I think that makes sense, right? Hall of Fame JBL, 2 different build sets. The Titan build set, if you have both gears, if you have the moment, this is the build set I used in Titan. I have tier 5 medals on him. If I go into a stip tour, granted it's overhype, I can hit for 680 to 700 million with this build. On a stip tour. I don't know how hard it hits on hype on anyone else because I can't see the damage, right? So equal level, it's got to do at least 400, I would say. 450 million, I don't know. And I don't even bother with tier 6 medals. So I have that, but actually don't even run that most of the time. I usually run unblockable with him. The unblockable moveset, because it also has the reversal. and you can avoid all reversals pretty much. This is what I usually run. Doesn't hit as hard, but it beats everybody. And if you do double MP trainers and stuff, you can avoid all reversals, basically. So beyond that, though, JBL brings the Hall of Fame link, which is any color move starts with 4 more MP, both male and female. So I always have that option in Showdown, and it's huge, right? It's absolutely huge. So he was a no-brainer to blow all my wildcard hype on. You can see I have one Trickster wildcard hype. I probably spent about 160, 170 wildcard hype on JBL, on Mherex, right? So, and I don't buy hype on Mherex, but I have a roster that can get it. Now, Zombie Penta I lucked into. I maxed him naturally throughout the month, so I didn't have to use any wildcard hype on him. And you can see just how high my Showbelt wildcard hype is because I haven't had to really use any for a while. I did use a bunch on taking Dudenator to 2. I don't think I pulled any hype for Dudenator, maybe 5 or 10. So this was early on. I used all my hype to take him to 2. So there's that, right? King Kong Bundy here was by naturally definitely not somebody I would have chosen, and Brawn Breaker, Bone Breaker was naturally also not somebody I would have chosen, but he combos great with Penta. And again, Penta and Bone Breaker, when it comes to males, I can run either the -2 MP or the starting 5 MP, right? Which is incredible. So very, very useful. And that worked out great. Very happy about that. Axe is where I've dumped all of my wildcard hype into. For Striker, Axe, and then I took Vicaire to 2 with it. So that's where the wildcard hype is. Axe, what does he have? He has an incredible tag link, right? Demolition, red moves start with 10 more MP. He also has the very handy reduce your owner's tag counter move. So you can use him in the lead and tag in any lady to get tasks done that require ladies and things like that. Mercy is one of those that you can get the hype in the hype store. So I buy his hype whenever it shows up. So he's tier 3. And same thing with Julius. Never have had to put wildcard into him. I just buy it in the store every time the 5 shows up. They'll eventually end up hype 4. Kofi is naturally, I've just been pulling his hype for some reason. I get it all the time, but that's great because he's got a hot tag and he has a showdown link that's really nice with New Day as well. If I ever get Woods going, any color move starts with 10 more MP, but I can't pull any hype for Woods. I get it all for Kofi, so there's that, right? These are natural pulls. Devon shows up in the store, so he's tier 3, right? Cody was natural, Bossman natural, etc. Anyway, that's kind of my focus at males. Was I dumped everything into Cena, at JBL and Axe, and if you notice what I'm going for, it's Showdown because all of them are incredible in feud too, right? So I'm thinking with Showdown in mind, and they're also all very useful in Titan. I Showdown is the, like I said, where I can gain the biggest rewards currently in the game, so it just makes sense to my brain. Now we go to the women's side, and I only have one hype for, and it's Bliss, and I did not spend for any of her extra hype. I did have the Blitz tickets, and I did spend for the Blitz tickets before I knew what they were, and then I spent $10 to get one more Blitz. Everything else has been wildcard hype, and if you look at my powerhouse, I have one wildcard hype because I put about 160 wildcard hype into Zombie Bliss. One, I think she's the best lady powerhouse in the game, which is saying something because Julie is amazing. But it goes back to, what does she have? She has the link, the showdown link. Any color moves start with 5 more MP, or any color moves drain your move. So now I can run double zombie, double hype 4 with either MP or drain them, right? And it's just very, very useful. So I'm a big, big fan of that. Indy, I dumped wildcard hype into early on. And because I needed a hype 3, and no regrets there. She's amazing. But my focus now for Acro, just like on the free to play, is going to be Acro Penta. He's getting all of the wildcard hype. because I have both gears. I have his moment. He's amazing in Titan. He's got hot tag. He has links, but more importantly, he has unblockable or unreversible with the stun, right? So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and now I have enough to do this. We're just gonna go ahead and do this and take Penta to hype 3, and I will use my wild card to take him hype 4 when I get it, and then I can run a roster of 4s anywhere pretty much and not have to worry about all kinds of stuff, right? So now now that Bliss is done, my male powerhouse to go along with Axe is going to be Smash. I cannot pull hype for him or his gear to save my life. I chase it all the time. Cannot get it at all. But to pair with Axe and hopefully get the Repo Man gear. That being said, until I get to 150 wildcard hype or very close, I won't actually spend any on Smash unless I get his gear. Once I get his gear, it's full go, all gas, no brakes, because of how useful that is in any situation. And I have plenty of stuff to run him exceptionally well. So other than his gear, right? And he's also got the great link with Axe. So let's go back to the women. So after Penta, then Indy will get all my wild card, right? Um, where it gets and after Axe, Vicaire will get my wild card, because you know Vicaire, she's awesome. I think I'm probably going to now dump the wild card into Rhea, because I have a lot of Showboat saved up now. My heart wants me to dump it into Dudenator because I love Dudenator, or to save it for Dom because new Dom is so versatile, so good. Um, but I could probably use more ladies at 3 and certainly another one at 4. So I'll probably dump it into Mommy, to be honest. And then after Axe, it'll be Vicaire, because they're very strong. Also, new Dom has new Judgment Day link. I pulled this hype naturally at Trickster for Raquel Rodriguez, which is fine, because she has the new Judgment Day. Any color moves start with 6 more MP. That's another reason to love new Dirty Dom. Both male and female, you can actually tag both Doms together with new Judgment Day link, which is actually super cool, right? So that was natural. That was natural. All of these actually were natural. None of these are ones I would put wild card in. Well, I'd put wild card into these two. So Julia would be just as tempting as Bliss, to be honest. But you can still pull hype for her, so that's why I went with Bliss first. And then, like I said, I'm saving until I get higher or Smash's gear. If I get max wildcard out and I still don't have Smash's gear, I will definitely continue to put wildcard into Julia because I think she's worth it. Lady Acro, Indy all the way for me. That's really easy. Like I said, after Penta, it'll be Indy. Very easy choice. Naomi would be a decent choice simply because she has hot tag, right? And her hot tag is really good, and she has the zombie links. I think Bliss is a better choice. I'm not huge on Naomi, but now that I have JBL leveled and I could use more higher level hype ladies, there's a good chance that I will invest wildcard in her. Probably. I'll have to think about that one more, to be honest. And then now that Cena's done, and I can get hype for those other two from the store, Julius and what's his butt, Mercy, I probably will dump some into Revenge to her Live, for Lady as well. Probably with Tech. But I'll wait till I get more saved up to decide, more wild card, because you want to save wild card for those people that are really, really amazing. And I wish I could pull more naturally for Becky, because I love this card. Super fun, right? I really, really love this card. So there's that. And hopefully you can see I already have hype 1 from McCool this month. I actually hope I pull a ton for her, because she's got the Hall of Fame link, right? So that's kind of how I'm going about it. Actually, I might, instead of Liv, I'll probably go Jacqueline. Although Liv does have new Judgment Day tag links, but I have Raquel with 3 already, so you see what I mean when you're trying to decide factors like that, what make your life easier, is kind of how I go about that. But Liv would be another great one. because she's got new Judgment Day, and she's got Dirty Dom Link, right? So just a bunch of solid options. I could also see them making gear for Liv at some time and her ending up in more moments too, because the Judgment Day gets a lot of love in this game. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking about it. One of the big sadnesses of my life is that I have pulled no hype for this card, because I love this card actually. She's my favorite trickster in the game for ladies. Still can't get her gear and can't pull hype for her. Yeah. So I don't know, guys. I hope this helps. This video ends up being really long, but this was what I would call my definitive video on hype, where you can get it, what you should do daily, and how I'm going about leveling my hype people up. So let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you found this useful, and remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. And good luck out there, guys. And good luck getting your hype. Hopefully the decision making between both accounts is also useful.